I look great. I've just come from a concert. A really good one. Don't know if anyone knows Show of Hands. They are an English folk group. They are phenomenally good. Very good. I've seen them maybe 6, 7 times now. Love them so much. Their music is just... it transcends beauty. Their skill level transcends beauty. And I had to leave halfway through the performance. And it's been a week of that. It's been very much a week of pain and disappointment. And this is not the side I tend to show to you guys. I show myself quite bubbly, quite happy. You know, if you see me on Instagram, on Facebook, I'm looking very well made up. I've got nice filters on. I'm smiling. But the reality is life with someone who has a disability and a chronic illness disability, it's rough and you don't get to do the things that you really want to do. The reason why I'm talking about this is that I just want to share. I want to share my story. I want to see if anyone can relate. I want to see if there's anyone else out there like me who has these issues. And it can just maybe be a nice little reminder to people that people like me exist that have these issues. But this will be a little bit of a sad video, so if that's not your jam, don't feel bad, just click away. I have a issue with being outside my own house. This is partly my disability and it's partly psychosomatic, meaning that it's my brain fears being outside the house, so it creates symptoms to compensate it and then hopefully drag me back inside the house. Specifically, IBS. But it's not an IBS that can be treated with paracetamol or Imodium or anything like that, any medication. I could take that medication to the cows come home and I would still be in pain. And it happened again tonight. I was fine throughout the day with a few blips of pain. And we're getting closer to leaving the house for the concert. The concert, by the way, is only 20-minute drive down the street, not even London. 20 minutes down the street. And my body is being like, not sure about this. I'm going to start, making you want to go to the bathroom. Oh, and the pain's going to get pretty bad. I should warn you this now. The pain's going to be bad, but go to the bathroom. So I do, and honestly, me getting out the house, kudos to me, because, ow. But I get to the concert place hall theatre and I managed to, get myself through it. My mum's having a nice glass of Prosecco. She's enjoying herself. I literally went for my mum. If my dad was here, we did have a ticket for him and he went with my mum, I would have just stayed home. But I love these people. I love Show of Hands so much. Don't do that. I love their music and I want to be there and be a part of it. And anyway, pain. So the first 2 songs, fine, absolutely fine. Like, enjoying myself, you're just, going, bit of discomfort. And then as the songs progress, more songs, more beautiful, beautiful songs, I'm getting more and more just racked with pain. And my stomach basically being like, you need to get to the bathroom now. I don't know if anyone's been to a concert, which is kind of not a rock concert, but, a chill concert. You can't move without people looking at you. And unfortunately, I move when I'm in pain. It's very hard for me not to. I usually try and keep it in the lower register, so if you were looking at me and I was in pain, you'd see like a bit of minute head shaking, but you couldn't see my arms. But let's bring you down to see my arms. First thing that happens is if I'm in pain, and my friends know this well, is I start taking my pulse. This might sound a bit weird, but hearing my pulse rate and trying to shut down my pulse rate to a more reasonable level can really help. It's also a meditation factor. And the more pain I'm in, the more I put pressure on my pulse point. Sometimes I even lose my pulse because I am pressing too hard. Next up is that this hand starts to bend backwards and the fingers bend in. So almost a backwards knuckle bend, and my thumb goes backwards as well. It's not the most delightful hand position to have, but it's kind of like squeezing your fist without putting your nails into your fist, and instead it's stretching these tendons, and the stretch of tendons can sort of weirdly help pain. But the issue is that the more pain I get, the more my hands start to shake. I tend to throw my wrists back and they start to shake because I am putting so much pressure on this, because it's a way to release the pain that I'm feeling. I must just, not show any discomfort from the face, shoulders up, but I can put it all into my hands and stretch them and clench them and all sorts of nastiness. And of course my feet are doing this on the floor. So that's great. Not nice. And in a concert, people can see what you're doing with your hands. It's more noticeable than other situations. Although people doing that usually isn't normal. And I was getting looks from the guy across by my mother, which always makes me feel very self-conscious. Luckily the lady next to me didn't look, didn't pry, bless her. But the songs kept coming, so beautiful. And the pain kept getting worse. And finally they were going to do their last song before the intermission. And I didn't want to cause a scene by, standing and making everyone get up in my row to get out. But that last, moment there when they were switching over instruments, I was like, this is ridiculous. So I got up, got out. Luckily there was only 5-6 people to get around, and just ran for the door. Went to the bathroom and dealt with it. Pain still going pretty strong, actually. I am lamenting and grieving the fact that I can't even attend a concert without enormous amounts of pain. The entire first act was taken up by me thinking about how much pain I was in and whether or not I needed to leave. And then if I needed to leave, how much of a scene I would cause by leaving. This is also an age demographic thing. The majority of people in that concert hall were over the age of 60. And here I am, being my age, with two-toned hair and makeup on, and a red lip, walking out of a concert which they probably think was due to taste. It sucks. And this is not the first time this week this has happened. On the Tuesday, I went with my mum again and a friend, and we saw the original Star Trek movie at the Prince Charles Theatre in London. And it was a good movie. It's not the best Star Trek movie ever. It's probably one of the worst, but it was nice to see the original, and they had an original copy. And I spent the majority of that film making sure that no one sat next to me on the aisle so I could get out, that, I was breathing normally, trying to get oxygen in, trying to regulate the pain. And then the entirety of the day, every so often, the pain levels just shot up to a 6. No reason. There was no reason. I was not stressed. I was not hurting in any way. I had painkillers in my system. But that's the reality of my world. And I missed university on the Monday as well because of PoTs. This does sound like a bit of a sob story, please have pity on me and like my videos because I'm such a sorry tale of woe. Nah, mate. I honestly would give anything to not experience this pain. It's a good reminder to people that I do live with this condition and that others live with conditions like this, because my online persona is vastly different from real life Apollo. Vastly, almost like there are two separate entities. One which doesn't show the pain, and the one which lives in this room, games on the computer behind me, edits photos, but is always 5 steps from the bathroom. So when the pain comes, I can get to the bathroom. And if I hit anyone being like TMI, well, I'm sorry, but the human body is pretty gross. And suck it up, because I bet you don't have to deal with the sort of pain and I do. So I'm going to talk about going to the bathroom as much as I like. I just really I just want people to be aware of these issues. That chronic life, although I do positivity and interesting videos on, although I haven't done any in a while, it's like this. It's painful. It's really quite traumatic. So what's next for me? I'm actually going to go onto my laptop and I'm gonna email my old my counsellor, who was brilliant for me a few years ago, dealing with something else. And I haven't seen her in a few years, and I'm just gonna come crawling back to her and be like, do you remember me? Help me. Because at this point, this issue has become so psychosomatic that I don't think medicine can help me, and medicine does shit, to be honest. So I'm gonna email her, try and get back into her good books and on her patient list, and try and work on some CBD or something along those lines to help me out of this situation that I find myself falling into, because I am now scared to walk out my front door. And the last time I was scared to walk out my front door, I was 12 years old, and I was the beginning of this medical condition. It's when it got horrific. I had just gone through a severely traumatic point of my life. I was suicidal, I was self-harming, and how can I be back in this spot again? Now, I'm not any of the things I've just listed, but I am afraid to walk out that front door, even if on a conscious level I'm not. Subconsciously, I think it is screaming in terror at the possibility of being outside and being in pain and all the implications of that. Not the most fun video I've ever made, I'll admit that now, but one that I kind of felt was necessary, and honest to hell, I am so thankful that you guys let me rant out my feelings on camera to you guys. It helps enormously with my state of mind, and I hope that it can help someone even in a small fraction of a way. Bit up myself then, but yeah. I plan on doing a lot more videos on my disability and on my PoTs and gender very soon. I've just been trying to get well enough to do them. I have let that fall recently on my YouTube channel, and I promise to get back to it. So if you want to see more of that, hit that subscribe button. If not, hope you liked the video. I love you guys very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.